Hi, I'm Stephen Amos from Give Kids the World, and this is episode 16 of World of DVC Show, and it's all about giving back. Let's get started.
Daddy, look, a giraffe. I can't believe we can walk through the castle.
It starts with a spark, alive in our hearts, a chance to build your legacy. To go to magical places with smiling faces and value and trust you can see. When it's buying or selling, renting or lending, there's a wonderful dwelling with wishes unending. You'll save a lot when you believe. So go with the team who will achieve your dream. Enter the world of DVC.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
I'd like to actually change that. Can I finish? I want to change that song. That's because the game's called back.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
Like 4 seconds right before we started filming.
And here's the thing.
Because if I told you I was going to do that, you'd say, please don't.
Exactly.
Please don't do that.
We'd make you, we'd talk in front
start
of you.
over.
Yeah. So that
do it again.
Last month, for those of you, thank you for, first of all, thank you for joining us for episode 16 of the World of DVC Show.
We're Sweet 16.
Yes. In nice, chilly Central Florida, where it's like 115 every day.
Humid as heck.
Thank you for joining us. And what we were referring to, if you hadn't watched episode 15, is we got into a very heated yet lovely discussion of, is the game called Cornhole, like she says? Is it called Bags, like I said? Or is it called, I think you called it, Silly Fun Beanbag Toss?
Something like that. The beanbag toss. And the beanbag toss not only lost, but we lost because I think we only had like 2 votes.
You had a few votes.
I had a lovely lady from Prince Edward Island, and she voted for me. So thank you for that.
Your votes were very passionate for those that
they
thought
really
it was.
Were, right? Our beanbag,
the beanbag toss.
Our beanbag toss is
But
passionate.
however, at the end of the day, as much as I would hate to admit that I might have lost, my friend Marissa over here
was
won
the
it.
winner.
Cornhole is the winner, so congrats. And thank you all for participating and jumping in. It was just so fun to read the comments because our show was so much fun last month.
That was the most, I think, participation in comments we've ever gotten.
Right.
And who would have thought some frilly little one-off thing was like this?
know.
Oh, it was just crazy. So yeah, it was very fun. So thank you for that.
What else can we fight over?
Because we love reading the comments. So again, thank you. We love your comments that you guys leave every single month. We're going to share some pretty awesome stories that I was able to share, meeting some of y'all. It was just great. But speaking of meeting people, let's get right to it because I cannot wipe the angelic golden glow that Kerri has over her because she and Marissa both got to hang with number 12, Tom Brady
I'm
recently.
telling you. Well, you set that up as though, and I'm sure people are going, did they meet that? Did they meet him? Is this like a story time with Sue where we have to stay tuned for 6 months?
You know, we were in line for Guardians of the Galaxy and Tom Brady was there. No, that didn't happen.
No.
It's still cool. Tell them what happened.
It was the coolest thing. So Thursday, Marissa texted me and said, she texted both of us.
I was just going to
Yeah, let me get my story straight. She texts both of us in our group chat, and she's like, hey guys, I happen to have 2 tickets to the Tampa Bay Bucks training camp day this Saturday in Tampa.
Yeah.
And Derek said, no, I think I'm good. Meanwhile, I'm shaking, holding my phone, and I'm trying to get out the words, yes! And so I said, yes, I'll what's the details? She's like, I'll send you the details. We're going to go Tuesday. You guys go Saturday. So up at 5:30, we were out the door, and we had the most amazing experience. It was at the health center. I think it was like that. I forget what the name. Advent Health.
Yep.
Advent Health Center across from Raymond James Stadium. And anyway, it was the training camp for the season coming up. And it was, to me, it was better than a game. Because I was here and Tom Brady was like there. And I had woken up with no voice that day. Now for those
And now you have Jeff there.
Oh my God. We weren't that close, yes, but he was a little further back. But so people who don't know or haven't watched much of our shows, or if you're new to our show, I'm from Massachusetts. I grew up just outside of Boston, Mass. And so if you're not a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan in my family, like you're kicked out, like that.
You don't exist.
You just don't exist. Like Celtics, Bruins, the whole thing, right? And so growing up, I'm a huge Patriots fan and, always have been a Tom Brady fan. Well, then when he came here, my family was like, traitor. And I thought, oh, yay, like he's in my backyard now. And so I've never seen him play in person all these years. And so Marissa made my dream come true. And so we went, and I lost my voice that morning because of allergies. And I so wanted to scream with my number 12 jersey on, Tom! And lucky for the people around me, I had no voice. So we had the best time.
The pictures were so cool.
Oh my gosh. We just watching him throw and seeing, I have my position here with World of DVC is in leadership and development and training and development. And so I'm always trying to look at things from like a leadership standpoint and a leadership lesson. And just sitting there watching them, I thought, these are just like, they are superstars. They are, what's the word I want? What did they win? The Super Bowl. Oh my God. Well, my contact slipped. Oh, there's a whole thing going on in my head. But they are just, I do know what I'm talking about. But yeah, my contact keeps slipping. But they are just like.
How many home runs did he hit that day?
A few. A couple home runs and a goal. Something like that.
Sorry.
Shut up. Yes. Put the comments in and feel sorry for me right now. Derek making fun of me. But they just are champions. That's what I'm trying to say. They are champions. They are just like the athletes of athletes. And just to see the camaraderie and the team, the sportsmanship and they're out in the sun. It was hot. We're under the shade in our bleachers with our fans and our freezy, icy pops and stuff that people are handing out. And I just thought, this is where like you see the champions are made, and when you just see it from that angle and how big these guys are and how much they train and how focused and the camaraderie, and then you see Tom Brady pick up a football and throw it like. It was an amazing experience. Marissa, did you have quite the same experience as me?
But it is funny because on a previous episode, I think one of them, we even used Tom Brady's name in the title of it.
We tried to get his attention.
Because was that the one where he
didn't subscribe
retired?
to our show?
Not yet.
Was that the one where
I think
you guys
it was
were...
he unretired.
He unretired.
Yes, was it?
Did we
That's
talk about him retiring or unretiring?
We did. We talked about him retiring, and now he's out of retirement.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
So that's
Kerri
why
and
we're
I
talking
have
about
a
football.
long-standing tradition
Yes.
of Tom Brady stories. But yes, we had a great time. I think it's one of the cool things about living just locally here in Florida, whether you have Disney World or the Tampa Bay, where you're just, I think it took us like an hour and 20 minutes to get down there. So it was such a fun kind of like little day getaway where we got to go explore the city, see the team play. And I think the fun thing for me was bringing obviously my husband, but my son, who's 5, and to bring him and have him that close to like to your point, these athletes who are Super Bowl champions, who are literally running by like sweat dripping off, and he's right there front and center. So that was super cool. He got to go up and get like signatures and autographs afterwards. So it was super, super special. We had a wonderful time.
They had the line for the kids, the kids autograph area. So I'm texting Marissa and I'm like giving her the lowdown of what to expect. And I thought, I'm kind of thinking of borrowing a child for about 10 minutes to stand in this line, but I didn't do it. But
that lady shoved me out of the way.
Exactly. She stole my child. But we watched number 12 leave the field. So I didn't. But
it's still awesome.
I know.
It's still awesome.
We had a great time though. Poor Randy, she just was like, okay, you're being a little loud and squeaky with your voice, and we get it, but it was just awesome.
Well, while you guys got to go see the 2023 Super Bowl champions.
That's right. He'll be at Disney World this year.
He'll be at Disney World this year, only an hour and 20 minutes away. I was able to experience the new villas at the Grand Floridian. I was able to experience one of those new resort rooms that they're called. We kind of booked it kind of relatively last minute and just happened to kind of go online because, again, we're local. So we went online and said, hey, you know what? There's availability for this for a Friday night. So we actually booked it. We went. We wondered and said, you know what? The kids are home. The kids are going to be home. Yeah. Could we take advantage of that early morning at the theme park, because we're staying in a deluxe resort. We're staying at a DVC resort, even though we technically don't check in until later on.
Oh, so you asked for the day that you checked in? Oh, that's
I've never heard
This was
that.
the day early, which made us realize and say, that sure sounds great.
So you got early entry on, even though you couldn't get to your room at 4.
Checking in.
So you could check
for all of you locals out there. That's a great tip.
Which was
Derek,
great.
that's like the smartest tip you've ever given us.
Except when I put all the math together and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, that means we got to get up at like 6:30 in the morning to be there.
It wasn't like 5:30 for our Tampa Bay experience,
See
but
the level
6:30.
of passion and commitment.
But let me tell you, it was a game changer being able to get to the Magic Kingdom. It was early, so we drove over to the Grand, parked,
Smart.
checked in, did all that.
Monorail over.
Jumped on the monorail, one stop over. Then they basically seem to let everybody in the main hub of the park, but then as you get towards the center, they have people with signs that say early morning people. Because again, it's only certain resorts and yes, DVC and DVC resale members can participate.
Did you shove the children out of the way too?
Then flashing my card. Then they direct you kind of to go around by like Tomorrowland, and then boom, right at 8:30, everybody made a dash to Snow White. And we kind of saw that and said, you know what, I don't want to spend so much time at Snow White. So we just said, let's just hit kind of the greatest hits that we can in the next hour, because I just wanted to get back to the pool. So within 45 minutes, we did Peter Pan, we did Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, we did Haunted Mansion, and then we did our shopping that we needed to.
Wow.
Then we walked out of the park, hopped right on that little boat, took us back over to the Grand Floridian. We dropped our stuff off at the pool. Then they texted us like magic at like 11 a.m. our room was ready.
Oh, no.
It was ridiculous. And then Tom Brady walks in.
And then you call Marissa, Kerri, and
But then the room, and I know we're going to show you some pictures of it. It was incredible. That location was...
It's gorgeous.
Oh my God, I'm going to have a hard time. And I said staying in a regular DVC room at the Grand, just because it's a little bit more of a walk. This is steps away from the courtyard pool, which is my favorite.
That's a quiet pool,
Then you're
right?
literally steps away from the main building, which is all the shopping and all the restaurants and where the monorail is. So it was incredible. We loved it. We ate at Citrico's that night for the first time since they reopened, which was terrific. So the food was fantastic. It was great service. But I will probably tell you the highlight of the last few weeks was, first off, when I was at the Grand, I'm walking back to the room and this lovely couple stops me. And they stop me, and I'm not going to try to do their accent from Ireland. They're the most delightful couple that I've met. You know who you are because you're watching. But he stopped me and said, Derek, are you Derek from the World of DVC Show and from the DVC shows? And I said, yes. And then I'm thinking, I can't believe my wife is not here to see all this accolades. She's back in the room. I was like, darn it, I could have looked cool for a second. But we sat.
I'm famous, I promise.
They were so great. And they said, hey, we just want to let you know that we and our friends back in Ireland, Northern Ireland, watch the show every month. We get wine and we watch the shows and we love it. So for me to be able to spend some time with them and just see how much the show, he purchased with me back in 2018, all the way from Ireland, so we never got to meet face to face, but he saw me and his first words were, my God, you're so much taller than I thought you were going to be.
you did the accent perfectly.
I don't know. He's probably laughing right now. But it was great. So thank you guys for stopping and taking the time
so
to
exciting.
let us
That
know.
is
That was
awesome.
great.
The connection. Just before we aired, I just said, let's take a quick selfie because my cousin Jody, she watches every single episode and she always comments to us. And she's in Ireland right now.
wow.
Yes, her husband is from Ireland and they're in Ireland right now. So Jody, spread the word around, because we're really big
We're
in Ireland.
huge in Ireland.
Exactly.
It's just so great and it's so heartwarming just to know that people, and I was blessed just in the last few weeks to be able to meet up with Becky and her husband who are great. So I met up with them at Shades of Green, which I'd never been to before either.
Well, you met
awesome.
up with Amy too.
And then I also met up
Green.
with Amy the week before that, was able to meet up with Amy and Jessica and Kathleen over at Enchanted Rose, where we had one of the most amazing food items I've ever had in my life, which is truffle French fries, which was great. So all of
this
these
is why
visits,
Derek is our ambassador.
and our foodie.
And our foodie.
But I mean, it was just great. So being able to meet and spend time with our audience, which is just so fantastic, has just absolutely been the highlight of all this.
Yeah, we love to meet everybody who loves Disney as much as we do, and DVC and
throw in food on top of it.
Oh my gosh.
Throw in food on top of it. I went to Art Smith's homecoming too as well. Man, this month I did a lot.
Jeez.
You
guys went to the Bucs training camp, but I'm going here. Yeah. Art Smith's homecoming.
Love it.
Awesome. It was incredible. The little chicken biscuits were great. The drinks were great. The service was great. It is hands down, slam dunk, my new favorite go-to restaurant. Sorry, Boathouse. At Disney Springs.
That's saying a lot.
Art Smith's Homecoming.
Art Smith's Homecoming is fantastic. They, I always love their white sangria. I don't really do red sangria, but I love their white sangria, and they have the food is delicious. But Art Smith was Oprah Winfrey's personal chef.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so when he came here, when he was first opening up his restaurant, when I worked for Disney, my last position with Disney was with Club 33. I was a sales manager with Club 33, and our offices were out of the Team Disney building. Kind of looks like a Carnival cruise ship, kind of looks like a prison, like it's that really great building across from
Pretty
from
comparable.
Disney Springs. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm sure Carnival's thrilled with your analogy.
Well, from the
Prison
outside,
or a Carnival cruise
it
ship?
looks like a Carnival cruise ship. On the inside, it kind of looks like a little bit of a prison. You both have been in there, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, okay, yes. It could use a little bit zhuzhing up. But anyway, I digress. But Art Smith came over, and he did this whole lunch for all the cast members. And
my God.
the number one item on the menu, where do you think the line around the corner, up the stairs, and down the other side of the stairs was for? The fried chicken.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. The fried
that stuff's pretty
chicken,
awesome.
the mashed potatoes. He had everything. And he was out there meeting and greeting with everybody. I won a cookbook. You just put your name in the
nice.
raffle. And the lady called me. You would have thought I won $10 million. She's like, Kerri, it's Sally. You won the cookbook. I said, oh, my God. And so he got to, he presented it to me. And
Oh, that's so cool.
So cool. Yeah, he signed it and everything. So I have an Art Smith cookbook, but I'm too intimidated by it to cook anything. I can't cook like Art Smith.
Bring it over.
Yeah,
Johan will cook for you, my husband.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, Johan and Randy, because Randy's a really good cook too. But yeah, he's just wonderful. He's so down to earth, and he's oftentimes at the restaurant.
All the time.
Yeah,
I see people post on like, hey, I was just eating with my family, and this
he
guy
walks
popped in
around.
behind us to take some selfies and
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's Art Smith.
Have you eaten anywhere good?
Well, so we, I'm trying to think, where's this month gone?
One of your 37 meals you and your family have to eat every day. Breakfast 1, breakfast 2, lunch 2.
I heard, yes. Lunch one,
We have a
lunch
plan.
Yep.
So we've been trying to do something new at Disney. We're always trying to look for like a new place to go. And so we had heard from the Lost Bros when we had them on our episode,
yes.
they were raving about Three Bridges at Coronado Springs. And so we had never been there before. And we were trying to go somewhere last minute because we didn't have a reservation. So we're like, okay, let's go there because you don't need a reservation. So when you go through like the parking, you can just tell them, hey, I'm going to
And they
dine
don't
there.
stop you.
And they don't stop you.
Okay,
they let you
good.
park
Good
there.
to know.
So it was awesome because we hadn't seen Coronado Springs since it had been renovated.
Mm-hmm.
So like the tower area is really, really beautiful.
Pretty.
They did a good job.
Looks beautiful.
And then going to Three Bridges, it kind of felt like Geyser Point. It's got that like beautiful over the lake with the outdoor
nice.
seating area, the nice like breeze coming through. I had the tacos there and it was excellent. Margarita was really, really good. So it was just kind of a nice change of pace. I wanted to check it out because we've got our Diz convention, DizCon,
Yes.
coming up at Coronado Springs
right.
on September 30th and October 1st. So if you are around or in town, we'll give you more tips on that. But I wanted to check it out and kind of get a
That's a
layout of the
great
area.
idea.
So it was really awesome, and the food there is great. So
I've not been over there just yet. But
Yeah,
I've heard
it's
really good
awesome.
things
It's
about
lovely.
it.
Is that still good? Wait, so it's September 30th?
Yes.
Right?
And
October
October
1st.
Yep.
You know what else is still going on during that time?
what?
The Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, the never-ending food and wine festival that we love.
The 37 months?
37 and a half month
37
celebration.
Right. It literally seems like that. We were all laughing, and it was like, wait, do you remember when the Food and Wine Festival started the end of September, and it went till like the middle of November, and then they switched over to like the Christmas stuff. Now they start it literally in like July, right?
July 14th.
July 14th.
And it goes till November still. And
Which-
but even Flower and Garden now has food items around. And
Yes. The latest festival at Epcot is called We Don't Have a Festival.
It's
That's
just
the latest
food
festival.
tents
Because
all around.
It's just
Yeah.
segues from one festival to the next, which
Yeah.
is awesome. But when it comes to food, everyone loves Food and Wine Festival. I have not been yet. We just did Flower and Garden not that long ago, so we still have to make it out to Food and Wine. But when it comes to Disney food,
oh my gosh. Did you know that I opened, we were talking about age before we started. I won't say my age, but I opened the Food and Wine Festival. I was on the opening team of the Food and Wine Festival.
God.
It was in 1778, and it was fantastic. Air conditioning
There was
just
one
the thing.
booth.
Yep.
you park your horse and
Yeah, and you get off, and there was me serving. No, I was just joking. But I was on an internship. I did the college program, but then I came back about 2 or 3 years later and did what was called a fellowship internship at World Showcase, and it was international. And we were I was me and about 9 other students were the American students hosting the international students, and they used to do like media interviews, and we would take them to that. And then if they needed another student's perspective from our perspective, we could speak on behalf of the company, which is so crazy to think because we didn't have media training. Anyway, it's a whole other thing. But yes, Food and Wine was just coming out. And it was Carol Johnson, I believe her name was. She started or was on the starting committee of the Taste of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And so she wanted to bring kind of Taste of Chicago to Disney. And Disney was like, at first they were like, I don't know, how do we do this? And she executed it really brilliantly.
Yeah.
But
how do we serve anything other than turkey legs and French fries?
And churros and, you know, but literally like back then it was just a tent. Like there were literally tents that they just would like, there was no, you know, actual little cute pots and stuff like that. But, you know, you could get a glass of wine for like $3. You could get tacos for $1.50.
Wow.
Like literally you could
That really was in the 1700s.
It really was. Like, you could take $20 and literally go and have a meal around World Showcase and be full. Like you didn't have to then plan dinner. Because you know, Food and Wine, you're like, we're still kind of hungry after Food and Wine. Yeah. We've just spent $150, but now let's go eat dinner. You know, right? Good to know that most people do that. But yeah, so it was and we all wore the little flag outfits and stuff. And it was.
That's so cool.
I know. It feels like it was forever ago, but such a fun memory to like think back on where you see the Food and Wine Festival has come to with Party of the Senses and the concerts and all of the tastings when they did the wine tastings and things like that.
And that's what's cool too. And that's why we wanted to get, when we started talking about food, we were like, you know, sometimes, you know, it's not just the three of us here at the World of DVC. We've got an amazing team. We're just the people that like to sit in front of microphones and talk.
We just do the chatty ones.
Not you.
We just do the chatty ones. We have an incredible, amazing team. Of course, our headquarters for World of DVC is back there in Indianapolis. So when we knew that we were going to talk a little bit about food, not a whole show, which I think we easily could do a whole show talking about food, without a doubt. Call up your friend Art Smith and have him.
Your friend Art Smith. And you know what I forgot to mention too? This is very interesting. We always say we like to pull the curtain back of being a cast member. At the end of Food and Wine Festival, they used to, I don't know that they still do this any longer, but they had a cast wine sale.
Oh,
Did
that's
you ever
cool.
Go to that?
No,
really?
Never heard of it.
Oh, yes. This was
like where they got rid of all the bottles
They
that
got
didn't
rid of
sell?
all the bottles for like fraction of the price.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the wine and champagne and everything. And so it was back behind like, you know where the Future building is, like kind of where Mission Space is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I forget what that other building, Wonders of Life Pavilion. It was behind that. And it was this whole like expo sort of, and you just go and you pick up all your bottles of wine, and it was quite the to-do.
Great.
Let me tell you.
Now all the guests are going to be wandering around. Hi, we're looking for that discounted wine.
Right, exactly.
That Kerri talked about on the World of DVC Show.
I don't know that they do it any longer with COVID, but it was right before Thanksgiving. So stock up for the holidays. We used to do that all the time.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
I know.
And everybody's got a favorite food. Like everybody's got, you talk about food, everybody's got a favorite memory.
Yep.
Everybody's got a favorite place. Everybody's got this. So we wanted to involve some of our amazing family members back there at the headquarters of World of DVC in Indianapolis when we said, hey, Ellie, who's our dream vacation planner, he said, could you help us out and talk to a few folks up there and ask them what their favorite Disney foods were? And this, get your stomach ready, this is what they said.
My favorite Disney snack is a Dole Whip.
My favorite food from Disney would have to be the Mickey waffle.
My favorite Disney food is the Mickey soft pretzel. It's iconic.
My favorite Disney food is popcorn.
My favorite food is the honey chicken bowl at Yak and Yeti in Animal Kingdom.
My favorite Disney food is an adult Dole Whip.
My favorite food from Disney is a zebra dome from Animal Kingdom Lodge.
My favorite Disney food is the fresh fruit waffle sandwich from Sleepy Hollow in Magic Kingdom.
All right, so now I'm hungry.
I know. Now that we're hungry, let's get down to business.
Watch this segue. Ready?
Oh, gosh.
Do you know who else is hungry? The Rofer Monster.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was a good segue.
Come on.
Most of your segues
I literally saw that like clicking in my head, and I was like, I know where to go with it. And not even written down.
This is why we have you.
This is why you had your protein shake this morning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so a quick market update from the DVC resale market is Rofer. So there is a lot of buybacks. Again, you can visit our site, go online. People always want to know what's the way for me to beat that Rofer monster, which again is the right of first refusal, that Disney has the right to buy a contract back after it's sold. So it's very resort specific this year.
Yes.
So people have been, maybe losing out once or twice. I've had someone 4 times because it's a fine line of trying to get that most amazing deal, but also, without Disney having to buy it back.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here for, because we're experts. So when you reach out to us, we can help. We even published, which was awesome this past week, a blog that we did kind of the top four
ways to avoid right-of-first refusal. So obviously there's no perfect formula, right? But we have years of experience of doing this and looking at it.
It is. You can pay $400 a point.
Well, there we go. And it still might be questionable.
This year, yes.
So it's a great guidance point on that.
It is. It's
well, between
really
you
good.
two being clear experts, and I bought my contract from Marissa only because she wouldn't let me buy it from you. I'm sorry. I know my next contract will be from a good friend, Derek.
I suggested it for you. Kerri wasn't even in the market to buy, and I was like,
I wasn't. But I know a good deal.
Well,
when
you
I
were
see
looking,
it.
and I was like, if you're ever going to buy, it's today.
Yes, this is today. Yes, but watch the long episode, 90 minutes from last month, because Jody goes into great detail about the ROFR report and how to kind of strategize that and how to try to beat it if you can. And so she gave some really great.
And
great
it's simple tips because, again, this year, we won't go into the details because, again, you could visit our site. We publish it on the blog section when you go to dvcresalemarket.com. Right up there, you can hit blog and you'll see, type in the words, ROFR. You'll see the report that we do each month. This year, it's extremely resort specific. I think there's and correct me if I'm wrong, there's like 4 resorts make up like 70% of all buybacks are 4 resorts.
Wow.
4 resorts.
So if you're set on those resorts, reach out because we need to give you strategy on that.
That's just it.
Otherwise, there's other great options. Yeah. Other
Which
resorts
we've already had, because it's always the worst part of my job is when we get the emails each week saying the following families had their contract buyback, so I have to reach out to them. It was great this week with that blog because I was able to say, hey, I know you like, say, Old Key West, but have you thought about the Polynesian, which has had 0 buyback? So I've had many folks kind of read that blog.
It's not such a brick wall.
Change their path. No.
Because the guests have you to really say, like, it's not this brick wall you're going to come up against to say, oh gosh, I have no idea how to do that. And that's why you want a trusted salesperson, agent to go with, to say, I've got you. I know the trends, the commonalities. I know what, like you said, Old Key West, have you considered Polynesian? Does the home resort really matter?
And don't get too scared, which we always try to tell people, oh my God, I heard Disney's buying every contract back. They're buying back. When your contract's bought back, it feels like they're buying every contract back. But I can tell you, even with some resorts, and I had to tell many families this week, saying, okay, so they're at like 30%. I go, but you got to look at it. There's 70% of families were happy. 70% of families made it through. 60%, 80%. Those families got that email that said, congratulations. So again, reach out to us, let us know, let us help you beat that ROFR monster, because there's nothing better than when we get to let families know that, you've passed that last hurdle on your way to being a DVC member. Because once you're a DVC member, what's going on the rental side?
My gosh, well, that's just it. If you're not ready to become what's that?
Another master segue.
You're just the master of segues. Yeah, that's a new title. But yes, but if you're not ready to become a DVC member just yet, DVC Rental Store might be a great way. And they have a promo code right now, $50 off of a new reservation. And so it's through August 16th. And all you have to do is type in, I want to make sure I have my notes right here, DVC50 is the promo code. So at the last step, which is your third step, once you've confirmed that reservation and you're ready to go, remember, new reservations only, just type in DVC50. That's the promo code.
And it's the number 50.
50, yes, DVC50. Thank you. That's a great point. Yes, DVC50, and that will give you $50 off of that promotion. And remember, it goes until August 16th. So it's a great promotion. DVCrentalstore.com.
Well, and I think right now for families who might want to do that, try before you buy, right? And say, hey, I've been wanting to try out DVC, want to see the rooms. If you're that traditional family that's always going for summer vacation, this is the time to plan it. Yes. Because we're hitting that 11-month booking window for those July vacations, which is like the popular school break time. So,
especially for certain resorts.
Oh, yeah. So if you're looking to go, especially like Monorail or Epcot resorts, reach out to the team and start planning that and take advantage of that promo.
Even certain room types. So even if the resort, if it's, maybe you do want the monorail, or maybe you say, we don't really care, we have to have a 2-bedroom. Yeah. We have to do a 1-bedroom. We need a door, whatever it might be. This is a great time for that 11-month window that kids are now going back to school, which I can't believe it. The kids are ready to go back to school already.
We start kindergarten.
She starts kindergarten.
I can't. It's unbelievable.
With my buddy Kaden.
I know. But start planning Caden's summer vacation next year, right? Because it's 11 months.
Right.
And that June, July, when the kids are out of school, why not save $50?
And that's like this year, I'm pulling up the school calendar because he was in preschool and daycare before. So now I'm like,
more
I need to plan my vacations with his. So now I'm understanding all of you out there who are like, your world revolves around
school.
Vacationing school.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm in that boat.
Yep.
But speaking of just kids and giving back, today we have a super special guest. But I did want to tell you, we try to do this each year where we set aside one episode where we just really focus on giving back. And that's the theme of this episode. And kind of what stirred this conversation with Steven and Give Kids the World is our upcoming partnership with the DizCon.
Right.
So if you haven't heard, DizCon, Derek liked to call it like
it's like the D23.
Right. D23 of the East Coast. It's a really awesome event to see some of the incredible Disney artists and stars and writers. And so really special event that we're going to be part of. And that will be September 30th and October 1st.
Yeah.
We would love to meet you. So if you happen to be in town during that time, or if you're planning a trip or you're local, head on over to givekidstheworld.org/DizCon. Come see us. Get some tickets. We have a promo code for you to get you 20% off. But it's a super incredible event, and we want to meet all of you as well. But what we wanted to do in the theme of this episode is give back and figure out a way for you as our audience to help us with that. So what you need to do to help us give back to Give Kids the World is just give us a thumbs up, any new subscriber, or a comment, and we will give away, for every participant, we will give away $10 to Give Kids the World.
100%
so
of it.
The bigger, 100%,
awesome.
the bigger, the better. We will save that and give it away at DizCon, so if you happen to be there, we'll be there for that too.
And stay tuned too, because Steven, he always has the most amazing and fun stories to share about his organization and what they do and the challenges that he puts himself through to raise money for Give Kids the World as well.
And I think what's so cool, Kerri, is I think back to like your very, like our first episode, right?
Yeah.
And your very like last point of our first episode is you'll never know where that name tag can take you.
Yeah.
And Steven has come from college program to working for Disney. And that's the cool thing. I think we just keep on having these guests on who have this just rich Disney history, and it's all woven together to create new magical things. And we might not be at Disney anymore,
right?
But we sat here talking like we're all cast members working for Disney.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's that feeling of like happiness. We all wanted to work for Disney for a purpose because it's a happy place. It made us happy. There was happy memories. And I know that when I left Disney, I thought, as long as I can be able to create this happiness, I'm okay. It's just a building. My friends will stay my friends. I can go to the parks. I love Disney. I love what they do, but it's that feeling of happiness. And he is a great example of college program, great career at Disney, solid career, and then really found his passion in still the local Central Florida community by giving back to these families from all around.
And I think that's what's so cool. This is probably why it's my favorite show that I think we're going to do. Is just because everybody will always say, I've heard of Give Kids the World. I hear they're an amazing organization, but I live in Ohio, or I live in California, or I maybe live in Europe. I know we've got people in Australia that do. So there's nothing. I would love to be able to help with that organization. We're going to talk to Steven about how you can. Right. But even the most simplest thing, like Marissa said right now, for just hitting the thumbs up, for leaving a comment, leaving a 5-star review every single time you do that, that's going to result in $10 towards Give Kids the World. So you can just feel better about doing that, which is awesome. So super excited to have them on.
I have to agree with you. This has probably been, we haven't even done the episode, but I think this is already becoming one of my favorite episodes.
See, it started off so like, bags,
we
cornhole.
We were a mess, right? I know. We were a fighting mess.
And now we're like,
we love each other.
Well, on that note, I would love to, all of you audience at home, give it up for our very special guest, Steven from Give Kids the World.
Hey, look who's here! So excited to have Steven here. So Steven, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited. There's so much stuff that we want to cover. So where do we even start?
I don't know. I feel like it's the legendary Stephen Amos. Yeah. Like, I want to put that in front of your name.
Legendary. Look at this.
Remember, you're not supposed to show that.
He even has his own one sheet.
I require a legend. I require that.
Legend. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Do you want us to wear this around our neck?
Please do. Yeah, I was going to be worn already doing that. Yeah.
I'm going to start with, Steven, before we get into your amazing current history and then your Disney history, I just want to apologize to you because apparently you are and were born a Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh, yeah.
Die hard. hard.
Cheesehead, right? Is
Someone
that
said that you
cheesehead?
actually still have you have an actual cheese head.
Oh, yeah, definitely do. Yeah.
Do you have a picture of that? We're gonna need, not now. You don't have to pull out your photo album now. Yeah, exactly.
It's in his lanyard
with his title, right?
Oh, weird.
But, yeah, you should attach it down here.
Yeah.
But we might have to see the cheesehead because we're pretty big football people here, but we're not.
Week 3 home game.
Yeah.
Bucs in Green Bay.
Oh my
Green Bay
gosh.
has a lot of Florida this year. It's
That should be a fun game.
It's always expensive, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm born and raised right outside Chicago, so sadly I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
That is sad.
So it's super sad for you.
We were talking about this morning.
Bears.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Of all the teams.
You'll get there. Yeah.
I mean, you've been in Florida enough. Just adopt the Bucs.
I know.
Adopt the Bucs because I'm a Patriots fan. I grew up in Massachusetts, so Brady was in my backyard growing up, and now he's here. See, so just be a Bucs fan and Patriots fan.
Did you change into a Bucs fan now?
Well, I do both. I'm half and half. I have to because my family lives in Massachusetts, so like you're kicked out of the family if you don't still, root for the Patriots.
I understand that.
But I love Tom Brady. TB12.
She's got the half and half shirt.
Yeah, and so I am that person.
Does she really have one of those?
Yeah.
I mean, I sent her the link for it.
Yeah, I could make it. Yeah. You just have to cut up 2 jerseys and sew them together.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, how does someone like you, smart, amazing background, how do you wind up coming from Wisconsin to coming down here to Florida? And you wound up working for Mickey Mouse? What was your first role?
It was, of course, like everybody else, the Walt Disney World College program got me down here.
College program.
Yeah, so I worked at Voyage of the Little Mermaid and One Man's Dream.
Was it at Hollywood Studios?
Studios, yeah. And that was during Year of a Million Dreams.
Yeah,
and that was a tough place to be in because I primarily worked at One Man's Dream, and they were building Toy Story Mania at the time. So it was a dead end.
Yeah.
So you have to want to walk to One Man's Dream to go there.
I remember that.
We were just hoping for like 100 guests an hour. It was like, and I'm this lonely. I'm the only college program kid they assigned to One Man's Dream. But I got hired. They said, "Do you want a speaking role?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they said, "Interventions or backlot tour?" I was like, "Backlot tour? That'd be awesome." And in the refurb over the year, they said, "Oh, backlot tour is automated now, so you're not transferring over there." I was like, "Oh, so what do I like? You're going to work in the museum?" I was like, "This is the exact opposite of where I thought I would be ending up there."
Like, I want to go back to Wisconsin.
I would pick up shifts just to move strollers at Mermaid and Playhouse Disney, just so I could see more college kids. Like, would you be my friend? I was like,
oh my god,
it was the only like air conditioned role full time. It was a great gig, but I transitioned into working in Disney marketing. So I opened up the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy
Nice.
teams,
Fantastic.
and then transitioned into marketing strategies, working some Epcot projects there. And then ended up in the parks working media operations like the Christmas Day Parade when they filmed like the Chew. And then I ended my 10 years there working in Yellow Shoes, which is the in-house creative team. So I was a photography producer there. So.
Why is it called Yellow Shoes? Tell the audience why it's called Yellow Shoes.
You don't know? You're a former Walt Disney World ambassador.
I know, but they may not.
This is why Kerri's a good host.
She asked, instead of monologuing, she asked questions.
Hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
Why is it called Yellow Shoes?
Yeah, so of course Mickey Mouse has yellow shoes, and I think the backstory really is that Disney doesn't compete in any like marketing competitions like that. So Yellow Shoes Creative offered them an opportunity if they ever wanted to compete, not using the Walt Disney name. So it was very confusing when you said you work for Yellow Shoes because are you a cast member kind of deal? And at some point there was Red Pants, which was a video production team. I think they converted into all of Yellow Shoes now.
Okay.
So it was two isolated teams there.
Amazing. Yellow Shoes. Now you know. Now you know too.
That's it. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I always knew about Yellow Shoes from my days at Disney marketing, but that's crazy. I didn't know about
It was
Red
never
Pants.
WDI.
I didn't know
it was like Yellow Shoes was so
WDI.
you thought you were an Imagineer. You're like so close, but you were never there.
Yeah. And that's for folks wondering, because I remember I used to work in Disney marketing 300 years ago, that it was
They still talked about you.
Oh, God.
You look good.
Any sort of Disney marketing collateral, any sort of material you see, it is obviously so meticulously thought out,
gosh.
and 3,700 meetings for any piece of collateral that you see in a hotel room. And you did stuff with photography too, right?
So my last two big projects were we shot the assets for Pandora, and it was still a construction site. So it was, we just had a little island, the size of this table that we could stand on without wearing any of the construction equipment there. And then we had to shoot Toy Story Mania, the Slinky Dog coaster. But we had to have that asset ready for the Christmas Day Parade. The ride wasn't even built. They didn't even have a train over in America yet. So we shot it in a conference room. We cut out a piece of wood. We put two people there, and then we hired a crew of people just to blow fans out of them. And then we cut them out. And on the billboard that was up for almost 2 years, that was the one we shot in the conference room.
Stop.
And I was like, when I look at that, I go, oh yeah, that guy sat with his kid, his daughter, and we just moved them around until we got the coaster the way we
So
wanted.
who built
Jeff, can we find that picture so we can put it into the
Who
show?
built the coaster for the conference room? Like, there's a team that builds the...
Oh, it was not as crazy as you think it was.
No?
I think it was one of the production people who worked on in the yellow sheet. It was
Oh,
someone
wow.
literally just like cut out a shape of wood.
Yeah.
And then of course the creative team knows how to make everything else look
Oh,
really
wow.
great.
Can we
It was-
get that here?
I know. That's why I'm like, can I hire them?
I just want the blowing fans.
Right?
That's all I want.
Right.
Right, you hire these actors and you're like, this is a very legitimate production. We're shooting the Sleek Dog, and then
Here's
they
a
walk
piece
into a
of
conference
wood.
room and they're like, what is this? And you're like, no, it's going to be
Tell your
great.
kids you're going to go on Slinky Dog or not.
Yeah,
Like,
I have an image of when we also shot the walkways of Toy Story Land there, and it was, again, we photoshopped every couple in a family.
Wow.
So you're shooting against a white wall, and you're just like, pretend that there's a coaster going by, and it's just like these actors are just like struggling to be like, what's happening? Because they've never even seen Toy Story Land before.
Right.
And same thing was like Pandora also. It's like you're going to be standing
Right.
under a mountain, like a floating what? It's like this trust us in the concept here. It's like there was a lot of, I'm always actually really impressed. Sometimes the actor, it seems a little cheesy, but they're like, a lot of times they're not even there when they're supposed to be there. A lot of the Disney Cruise Line, you can tell they really do like sometimes the animated with some of the sound on there. They just shoot that on the first floor over at Disney, of 220.
We said at that very first show, long time ago, that we'd pull the curtain back. I feel like Steven's pulled the curtain back more than any other guest on like
I know, I love it.
Disney.
No, in a good way. We love, like,
that's
all
the best
these-
way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And let's just also say that when Steven showed up and sat down today, he said the ultimate compliment. He looked around and said, wow, this place is really legitimate.
Legit.
And we're like, what? We all high-fived each other?
my
Very
God.
high praise. I've never said that before.
Legit. We have to like have polo shirts or something that now say the word legit.
Legit. I'm so excited.
On your logo,
The World of DVC
Best
legit
compliment.
podcast.
Exactly.
So,
Oh, my
Steven,
gosh.
so how did you obviously done so much stuff at Disney? So how do you wind up at the amazing organization of Give Kids the World?
Yeah, so I did so much third shift work. It was a lot of times I was on the Disney Springs when every day the new store was opening up there. So we'd load a bunch of actors in there. We'd shoot everything in the middle of the night. Like all the collateral of Disney Springs was always like nighttime shots.
Right.
So we just do everything
Always.
in the middle of the night. So then my wife worked normal 9 to 5 hours. So I would go home and go, I can binge Netflix for a little while. And after that gets a little boring. So then I started volunteering over at Give Kids the World. They need shifts from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So then I would just drive a golf cart around the village, picking up families and bringing them to a destination. And I did my 150 hours there as a cast member. There's the volunteers grant that could be donated back to the mission over there. And then this opportunity opened up, and the title was like manager of special events and amusements. And I was like, that's a very unique title. It was just, they were looking for a person who would manage events at theme parks across the country. And at that time, I just had my first child, Henry. He was a couple months old. And I remember like always kind of complaining about my hours, my boss,
Sure.
all those types of things. And you meet these families who've been to hell and back, and they're not complaining about anything. And then all of a sudden you're like, why am I complaining about things in my life? So I turned to my wife and I said, I think this is something that we need to make a life change here. So it's been a 5-year career so far there, and a lot of advancement. It's been great, but it was just, for me, again, you have to meet these families. There's been 178,000 families who have come to Give Kids a World, all with very unique stories. And again,
You said 178,000?
yeah. So it's every other wish in the entire world comes to Give Kids the World.
Oh my
It is-
So for those folks, that may not be 100% familiar, like I know many of them always
Yep.
hear, and they see
Right.
it, Give Kids the World, Give Kids the World. It's an amazing organization. Like in a nutshell, like how would you kind of sum up?
It is the destination for a critically ill child whose one wish is to go to Disney, Universal, or SeaWorld, and we provide them a cost-free week-long vacation. And this property, it's 89 acres. So for Disney fans, that's the size of Disneyland, and we're actually a couple acres larger than that. So it is a sprawling campus that has accessible rides, movie theater, 3 restaurants for these families. All of these families get a house when they stay there, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We just remodeled all of them in the past year there, so like they are nicer. I built a house behind Magic Kingdom a couple of years ago. Their villas are nicer than what you have. So it is not just a studio hotel room, and everything is fully it's accessible for these families. I mean, every wish child gets a roll-in shower because we don't want them to have an opportunity where they would have any challenges there. All 4 of our rides, when we say accessible, it doesn't mean like, oh, they can transfer on. The wheelchairs can actually go on to our rides. We have retrofitted. There's no lines, there's no queues. We don't have to worry about throughput.
Yeah.
It's like our Dumbo type attraction. You can actually bring your wheelchair on there. We have a swing attraction where you can actually load the wheelchair on there. So we look at it through the lens of like we want every child to feel like this is a very special property for them. And with 89 acres, 166 families, it is never crowded. You never feel you have to never wait in a line. The amount of volunteers who are there to make sure that everything is going great for you, it's incredible. And as these parks get busier, as it gets a little bit more stressful, the one common thing is that it's always the same at Give Kids World, just a calm atmosphere for these families.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
How long is the average stay?
Yeah. Every wish is a week long.
Okay.
And it's an equitable wish too, because if you ask for Disney, you also get Universal and SeaWorld. And if you ask for SeaWorld, you get Universal and Disney.
Oh, wow.
Every kid
that's
gets 3 days
nice.
at Disney, 2 days at Universal, and a day at SeaWorld. And then everything within 100 miles is free. So those families can go to Busch Gardens, Legoland, Kenny. They can go to Medieval Times,
wow.
Ripley's.
Wow.
I mean, we have about 40 compassion partners within the 100 miles where they just go up to the front desk. You don't have to exchange a ticket. If you want to go to Kennedy in addition, we'll just provide you that ticket for them. So for them, it's like so much to do.
Yeah,
wow. They're trying to figure out.
It's a lot to do in a week.
Yeah, it's a lot to fit in.
They get the Wish Pass while they're there, so they get expedited entrance to all attractions, so they can go to the front in all of the parks. They get free parking, free strollers, free wheelchairs. Everything is taken care of. There's no cash handling at Give Kids World. I mean, the ice cream, the food, everything is just free for the families while they're there.
I did a volunteer many times, but the very first time I did it was I was on the college program as well. And it was prior to your college program a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, just a little bit. But anyway, I digress. And so we served...
I took my stagecoach over there.
Yeah, right? Yeah, my prairie dress. And anyway, not that long ago. But we served dinner to the kids and to the family. So are all of the meals prepped and provided still for the families, or is that part of, do they have to go grocery shopping, or they don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah, and when you come within the walls of Give Kids World, there's no sponsorship signage there, so you don't know who's making the wish possible. That's for two reasons. We want to align ourselves with companies that really, the kids are the priority, and two, we don't want these families to feel like it's a charity trip, that everywhere you're looking at, like, oh, this was sponsored by XYZ company. And when you walk into our dining facility, we rebuilt it about 7 years ago. The dining locations were spread out across the property, and families weren't eating together, and that was a big issue for us. That'd be where that mom and son would go one location, the dad would go somewhere else, and that wasn't what we wanted the Wish experience to be like. So we basically took a cue from like what Pop Century or All Star Dining is, where all of the restaurants are now in like a horseshoe shape, and you can choose the different menus while you're there. And the guests don't realize that it is a Perkins restaurant that has been serving the meals there for 35 years straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all of the Perkins locations across the country only support Give Kids the World. They raise about $1 million a year, and then we have a Boston Market restaurant there, and again, they only support one charity, and it's ours, and that's national.
Wow.
So how many rotisserie chickens can you eat in a week? It's incredible how much they go through. And then we run our own pizza kitchen, and that's because we can do any dietary restriction under the sun. And that Perkins location is not held to a Perkins menu. They can order anything off of a Cisco truck that if they get some sort of accommodation that needs to be made in the next week, they will order something special for that family, and then that meal will be prepped for them. And it's the biggest thing that we opened up in the past year was Henry Starlight Scoops, because we celebrate ice cream for breakfast. So we talk about the main meals, of course. Breakfast starts.
Are there people that don't celebrate that?
Or who don't already do that every single day? So breakfast starts at 8 o'clock at the Village, but we open Henry Starlight Scoops at 7:30 a.m. because we encourage all kids to eat ice cream for breakfast for their trip there. And it is the amount of ice cream you can go through at that place. And we just rebuilt it because we needed more space. And that building is actually special for us because it was the first time that Walt Disney Imagineering and Universal Creative worked together to design a building. So it was cool to see.
Amazing, yeah.
There is no Pepsi and Coke machines are right next to each other. There is no competition when you come to the Village.
We're going to have to show some pictures. We're going to have to get some pictures to show for those. That's amazing.
So if we have people like listening in and watching, if they wanted to give back, whether that's like financially or help volunteer, is there a certain like process, or what should they do next steps if they want to partake in that?
We always say there's three things. It's either give, serve, or share.
Okay.
I mean, of course, the treasures that make the Wish possible are incredible for us, but volunteering is one of the biggest things. We have 1,700 shifts a week that need to be filled by volunteers. And we always say we save all the fun stuff for the volunteers. I mean, it's serving the meals. It's dancing in the Christmas parade on Thursdays. It's taking the photos when Mickey Mouse is there on Mondays and Thursdays. It's all those types of experiences. And we always have to remind people, because they will go, well, I don't know if I can commit enough hours. If you do 2 hours a year, that's fine. We have a lot of families who come down for a vacation and they go, we're going to do Disney Springs in the afternoon. Let's go volunteer in the morning. And that's awesome. One time. That's fine. We'll train you. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
And the orientation, that was a silver lining with the pandemic. It's now all virtual. So you can complete your orientation
that's
prior to coming to property.
Oh, that's
so you
awesome.
can just do your shift. Because previously you would have to come in on a Saturday, do a couple hour orientation. And we've now mitigated that so you can just be a little
that's
more
great.
So anybody wanting to, if someone's listening from another state, from Wisconsin, let's just say, and they say we want to come down and volunteer, they can do the pre-process ahead of time and then just pick a shift.
Yep, and you can pick anything you want. So you know what you're doing when you come in. So you don't have to
Wow.
walk and be like, am I in the Christmas parade?
Right.
And that happened to me when I started at the village. There was a very unfortunate photo of me at my desk because I had a public profile, unfortunately. And I signed up for Winter Wonderland. And I knew that was Christmas. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I didn't realize that it's like you can sign up for like, I want to work in the party. I want to be a photographer. Winter Wonderland meant you were in the parade.
Sounds good job.
And I was there by myself, like a 30-year-old dude. It's like I'm volunteering, and I go, I'm like, what is this? And I'm looking at a rack of costumes, and I go, oh no, I don't want to wear one of those. So then they're like signing costumes, everybody, and then it gets to the end, I go, oh. No, they save the tough costumes for the end. All of the volunteers ask right away for the good costume.
Yes.
And the photo, and you can share this in a second, is a reindeer costume that is a couple sizes too small. And I'm just like, they painted my face, and I was in front of Santa's sleigh as it came down the street on Thursday because, at the village, we celebrate, all of the holidays weekly because we don't know, what the child's been going through. Did they miss, a couple Christmases, or the unfortunate reality, they might not make it to Christmas. So, on Thursdays, it's always Christmas. We do Halloween once a week. The kids get to go trick-or-treating on Mondays, and Mayor Clayton's birthday party where the kids get to surprise our 6-foot bunny rabbit, who's our mascot character there. It is a week-long celebration where every single day there's always a party for the kids to be coming to, and it's surprising. You think, well, they get really cool access to the fireworks or the nighttime parades. They all come back for the parties.
They want to come back for that.
It's just something exclusive to them, and for them, it's again, no one's looking at them differently. And we talk about the camaraderie of the children because they can be very relatable. But as a parent now, I look at these parents, and they are starting to talk to them because I can't go, oh, I know what you're going through. There's no way. I have no idea what you're going through. But there's 165 other parents in that room who are going like, you do know what I'm going through. So we did the summer road trip. We just did a bus tour across the country. We traveled 4,000 miles. And we did it 11 days in 11 theme parks. And every day we woke up and we were in a brand new state. So we were at Dollywood, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Sesame Place. And we realized, you said we have 178,000 alumni across the country. And once they leave our property, we don't see them. We don't talk to them as much. And we're changing that now. Yeah. So we loaded up a bus. And one of the surprising things was a couple years ago, we did a fundraiser. It was just an event in Pittsburgh at Kennywood. It was just a coaster thing. We invited families out there to come ride for the day. And there was 40 families there, almost all from the Pittsburgh area. And they all were like looking at each other going like, do you live here? And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was like almost a failure on our side to be like, we're not doing a good job to build this network that when they leave this property, that they can turn and they can support, or if there is a new family going through the process, they can reach out to them. Yeah. So this bus tour was that opportunity where some of these cities were bringing 600-700 people out who had experienced a wish. So we are taking the bus out again next year. We're doing even longer of a trip. But we welcome 5,000 Wish Kids and their families on the summer road trip. And for us, it's cool that these families are now connecting once they leave our property.
Yeah. It's extending the community out.
And they need it.
They do.
It was really special for them. They said, again, it's not relatable for me. I can definitely comfort. But for them, it's a good network that they've been building. That.
And guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, left us a comment already, because again, we're able to donate $10 for every single like and thumbs up and
now
comment.
You can participate. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. For every one of those participation, we are going to give $10 for everybody who participates, and we're going to give that back to Give Kids the World over the next month.
100% of it.
So excited for that. Oh, it's just amazing. These stories.
It's so special. And I think, like, to your point, my son had an accident where he was in the hospital for 10 days. And I think having that connection, the connection you have with other parents is so huge. Yeah. Like, yes, for the kids, but also providing that community for parents and families, because you need that support, which is absolutely amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I think for parents being able to just look at them and, like you said, Stephen, just to be able to, I know what you're going through.
Right.
You could have friends. Yeah. You could have even family members say, how can I help? And I'm here to help. You can, cry on me. But to have another family member, they know what they're going through. Yeah. And then to be able to do it in such an incredible environment it's just incredible.
And I've got goosebumps and tearing up. And I'm like,
and even just the memories too of like,
I'm a mess. Stop.
Right. But it's just so heartwarming because is when we all sit around a Thanksgiving table or a Christmas table or a birthday table, we reminisce, we tell stories. Now everyone has their phones, so gone are the days we have to pull out the dusty photo album, but those are still fun to do too. But like, these are the moments that these kids, these families can say, like, we had so much fun there, we laughed here, we made dad dress up like this, mom did that, or and it's just
we laughed at that reindeer that was wearing a really tight reindeer outfit with a cheese head on top of it.
They discontinued the reindeer costume.
No, because the legendary Steve
They read
Amos
the feedback scores of that week, and they're like, "This is not how we want this to go here."
I think we might have to participate in the Thursday parade.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, and for those folks may not know, but we're going to actually try to prep Stephen because he's doing something amazing this weekend, as if he doesn't do enough amazing stuff on a daily basis.
Right.
This weekend, he's doing something which I want Stephen to start. So I'm going to give you a little teaser of what he's doing, which is
we're filming this on Thursday.
We're filming on Thursday,
August 4th. So this weekend coming up.
So Stephen, we want you to get used to this song. Ready? It goes, yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Right? Now we have a cardboard box that looks like a pirate ship out there, and we're going to simulate you.
Blow the pirate water on you. Yeah.
Get the fan.
Tell them why these folks had to hear us sing that song today, Stephen.
So this is my third year on my birthday. I will go to a park, Disney park, and ride the same attraction from park open to park close. So,
from park open to park close. I think I missed that in the begining when we were talking. That's a long time. So what are those hours? Like a 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock till?
I should have like done Animal Kingdom.
Did you do It's a Small World yet?
I did that. That was year one.
How was that?
See, that was August of the pandemic year. So the park hours were only operating 8 hours. It was like Magic Kingdom opened at like 10, and I left at 6. Like the sun was still out.
Easy.
I was like, this is an easy day. And I put myself through certain challenges on the day because I said, for every $100 that I raise, I'll do a single pass on the attraction. And I had no idea. It's like, it'd be nice to raise $1,000, $2,000.
Right.
And I said, either I have a lot of friends or a lot of enemies, because I got to my goals very quickly. So then I was these thresholds of like, all right, if I reach $6,000, which we consider the value of a wish at the village, I said I'd only eat turkey legs for the day. And like, I really had enemies then, because like, it got to $6,000 really quickly. So on that first year, I only ate turkey legs for all my meals there. And then last year,
how many did you eat?
So this is the awful thing about the whole day, was that I ate one really early on, and then it was mask policy everywhere. Like while walking, you eat a turkey leg. It's like, as much as you wash your hands,
still
you look in the mirror, like, what have I done? You just smell the turkey leg in your mask the whole entire day. You're like,
man,
this is the word. Like, it's like I had to bring a second mask. I was having all these regrets, and I was like, who will ever know? And then I was like,
families are running in the opposite direction. Honey, come here. Stay away from the smeary
Why is
grease
that man so sweaty in the air conditioning building? So it's
smelling like the turkey leg parfum.
Yeah, so it's like 3 o'clock, and I go, I actually am hungry again though. So like, I'm gonna do another turkey leg. And I was like, I wasn't hungry. I had a stomach ache from the first turkey leg. And it was a compounding problem. So it was like, I woke up the next morning and my equilibrium was all off because I had sat on a boat for 8 hours. And I was like, it was like when I lay down at night, I was like, my head was like spinning. I was like, how could this happen on Small World? Like, that's where they go, like, Disney will now have to release a statement saying, like, don't ride Small World for 8 hours consecutively or the following thing can happen. So then I did.
It's going to go right under the, if you're pregnant.
Me holding a like, if you're him, don't do
families are like, why are there so many disclaimers on this ride?
So I did Figment last year, and I was like, that was a little bit better, but I made the challenge a little bit tougher on myself. I did the Beverly Challenge, so I was like, all right, if I reach 6,000 this year, I'll chug 20 ounces of the Beverly drink. And I posted that, and then Coke reached out to me, and they're like, where are you going to get Beverly? There's nowhere to get it in town here. And I was like, that's actually, I don't know where to go, because I thought Epcot I could go to Club Cool. Right. Club Cool was not on the same construction schedule of everything else. So I was like, maybe I want to do it. No, Coke arranged for Beverly to be delivered to me to chug that. And it was an awful experience. And then
and for folks that don't know, the Beverly
is
just a bitter... it was an Italian drink that it always lives at the Coca-Cola experience.
Okay.
The drinks change out, but Beverly stays. And you all 7 are very fruity drinks, and then you get to Beverly, and it just ruins your palate.
And if you don't know what it is, and you're with somebody who does know it is a jokester, they're like, you have to try the Beverly. It's the most delicious thing ever.
If your friends ever have a phone out ready for anything, it's like
hey, look, it's free Coke. And they're like, no, try it.
Yeah, drink it. It's good. You'll like it.
It's like wasabi.
It's like wasabi. Yeah,
I like that. It is.
This is not avocado.
Right.
You'll learn that one fast.
So the $10,000, I wanted to try to do 2 wishes last year. So I said the $10,000 goal will be I will eat an entire funnel cake, and it was during a festival time where they put a brick of ice cream on it and like Oreos on it. It was like truly a brick of ice cream, and then I had to ride Mission Space on Intense, and then go back there, and I did, and it was again an awful experience, and that's like where my wife looks at me and goes like, you make these choices. Like, no one was like submitting like ideas. You sit there and go, how do you hurt yourself with food? So then this year it's going to be, of course, I brought back Beverly, I brought back turkey legs, it's everything. And then if I reach if I beat last year's goal, I will allow whoever to paint my face at the stand. They can choose any character, and I'll wear it for the 13 hours of operation.
Oh, wow. I love it.
Pirates is a little bit more of a challenge because you can get wet, and I think that's an awful experience for that one. Figment was actually the hardest of all of them. They didn't put any Wi-Fi in the building, so you're like, if you think that you can just be distracted on your phone, you can't. I had to watch Figment for the entire 12 hours because the phone only worked in the queue.
Oh wow!
And I was like, this is not an enjoyable.
So
day.
for those folks that haven't been on to the ride, Steven's going to recite the whole entire ride for you.
Got it memorized.
Yeah, someone was asking me about Small World, and they go like, did this song get stuck in your head? And you're like, you forget about it, but the attraction broke down when I was on it on year 1. But then they turn off the music, but the animatronics still move.
Oh, that's
just like click, 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 click. This is like actually a little bit more jarring, and the boat stops moving, and you're like, actually, you're kind of hoping the music turns off.
Right.
Start hallucinating.
And I was on a boat by myself. Like it was so slow in August after the pandemic.
Right.
That was a year where they didn't make an accommodation. There was just nobody in the queue. Like the boat from the station, and I go.
Now, do the cast members know that you're there to do this?
I have a conversation sometimes with. They start to notice.
They realize.
Figment was. They caught on like right away because I ran to Figment at rope drop, and nobody
does that. Yeah, nobody does that.
And they're like, it's not Soren. It's over here. I know.
Wrong way, sir. Wrong way.
I love this attraction. And like an hour before park closed,
I'm a huge Dreamfinder fan.
You don't understand tattoos.
Big beard.
It was weird. At the last hour of Figment, this cast member goes, you can just walk up the exit to save you the time. And I was like, where were you 11 hours ago? It was 30,000 steps because I exited the attraction, walked through the whole, the Kodak building, had to walk through the queue again. And then by 3 o'clock, there was like an extended queue on Figment that day. And I was like, but why? Why would there be this today? Because there's no fast pass options available those 2 years. And then this year, it does nothing for me to use any of those services. So I'll just ride blindly.
So you're doing Pirates. Are you eating something that we need to watch for that
turkey
day?
Legs will be.
Turkey legs again.
Without the mask.
Yeah,
without the mask.
Why don't I just do that with the mask? Since you
Why not?
Do it now.
Your wife is going to be like, I told you not to add more things.
She doesn't even come to these experiences. She watches from her home and goes like, "That it's truly my actual birthday." And she's like, "You just ruined a day of potential stuff." I was like, "It is again. It goes back to the mission of like, we raised over 11,000 last year on the Figment Challenge, and it just out of the pandemic year. I think we were all just trying to figure out, when we did Small World, we were closed. We didn't know what to be doing.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to do something for the mission, create awareness that it could be done safely.
Right.
And I said that's where like all of these events were starting to come about. Where we had a small team of people, but again, Gift Kids World. It said it's 89 acres. We control the streets, our buildings. We had full control of that, and that's why we started pitching all of these events, which most guests know about Night of a Million Lights.
Right.
And that was one of those things that it came from the pandemic, and it was a silver lining for us to generate so much awareness. The funds were great.
Incredible experience.
It was an amazing experience.
Extremely well done.
Yes. So
incredible.
Unfortunately, if you had not been there, you missed out because it won't be returning this year because of just the most awesome news in the world that we're back to capacity. We have we're full families again, and that was what our mission was. So the idea that we'd ever have to close down a villa for fundraising, it's just not what what we do.
Right.
So.
I think it fed such a piece of everybody's soul here locally too.
Yeah.
That our cast members that loved the Osborne spectacle of lights and could help give kids the world and benefit a charity that we all have grown up with, really.
Right.
That if you've been a Disney cast member, so we went and it was just like it was moving and magical and beautiful and so well done, but like a piece of like the history of Disney too, to see the Osborne lights.
It truly was
great.
And I think it goes to like your mission and who you are, that like you're even discontinuing it just shows like how important your vision is, right? And to your point, like my son was born after the Osborne lights, so he never got to see them. So it was really cool to like be like, Mom and Dad, wait here when we were engaged, and now you get to see what that was like. Right. But also get to like educate him. He was 4 at the time, and start to teach him about like giving back. Yeah. So it was just really, and I think like when I look back at last year, just like our holiday experience, that was probably the highlight of all the things we did. That was the highlight. Like we all look back and go, that was just such an incredible night.
Yeah, and year one was so unique because we pitched the idea and we were in the depths of the pandemic. We didn't know what was going on, so like it was for a lot of people the first time that they really had done something outside the house. From volunteering to put up the lights to actually going out, and so we controlled the streets. So like a social distancing thing. Yeah, it was 1.3 miles of lights, and we only let in like 1,000 people. Like, it was like you couldn't see other people there, and all those partners who are activating in those yards, none of them paid for sponsorships. Those are all partners who had a reason to be there. They all do something for Give Kids the World, and it was that one opportunity because we don't allow any sponsorship within the walls of Give Kids the World. But since we were closed, we allowed those partners to we celebrated them to say, thank you for your do. Now decorate your yard into something pretty silly. And last year, the first year, I think a lot of partners were like, what is this? We're decorating a lawn and a driveway, and it was like kind of like, what is this? And then by year 2, it was like a competition.
I'm sure.
Universal, when they Universal Creative came out and was like doing, light temperatures on the house, and I was like, what's happening here? And they're like, and they were asking for like really specific equipment, like, we're gonna bring in a crane to put grew on the rooftop of the building, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like Disney's looking down the road going like, and then Disney came back like 3 times to add more to their yard. It was a friendly competition, but we Osborne it last year. We made the 21 houses dance, and I think it was just a lot of things were special about that because in year 1 there were so many furloughed entertainment cast members out there. Yes. We were able to have 30 techs come back and work, and a lot of the people who had worked on Osborne, the TDs and these producers who had that skill set were out there, and we created 55 jobs that year, and then we created nearly 100 jobs past year. There were so many things that were checking the boxes for, but 200,000 people got to come through because Give Kids World's not open to the public. There was this opportunity for them to come explore our entire campus and see what we do, and that's where Jody Benson was our our narrator of our tram tour, and when the buildings were dancing, Wish Kids would speak in between and do testimonials. It was a really high quality show, but we really wanted people to walk away going like, this is here in town, like this is in Kissimmee. We're an international charity that I think the community should be proud that we have this in our backyard.
Definitely.
And a lot of people literally in the backyard, like who lived across the street from Give Kids the World, were like, I didn't know this was here. I'm like, what do you think happened? There's like a 3-story pink and the building looks like a gingerbread house. Like when you drive to work, you didn't go like, that's really weird.
There's like cupcakes that are like that you can see like tilted up.
I just thought it was a guy that ate a lot of turkey legs.
And he walled in his house, and he's like, no one can come in.
Well, and I think that was so cool. We had talked about this on our show last year during our holiday episode in December of kind of going full circle because our team that wrote our theme song had actually, when we heard about the Give Kids the World and the new theme song that they were going to have for their dancing houses, it was our same team, and we were like, this is so cool. So our worlds have collided. And another area where our worlds are colliding a little bit is the upcoming DizCon, which is a super cool event. It started for the first time last year, correct?
That's correct.
So this is the second year, and I think now that, because last year I know it started and then Delta came out and we were like,
the Delta variant, right?
Masks were back. It was all within that week.
Yeah, that was a great week. That was a wonderful week.
So this week this year is coming up. It'll be September 30th and October 1st. And we're super excited because we get to play a big part of it. And I think this year having all this time to prep and prepare, and there's so many cool things going on. So tell us a little bit about that as well.
So DizCon is a 2-day event. It's broken into a convention piece as well as an after-hours park party at Epcot. The convention is 2 stages, has 16 panels, has celebrities such as, Tony Baxter or, Pat Sajak's coming out. We have a reunion panel from the cast of Aladdin and Encanto, and the entire cast from Bear in the Big Blue House.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, Noel just recorded. He reached out to me and goes, can I record a PSA as Bear? And I was like,
that's so
approved. It's like it is all these Disney celebrities, either from movies, attractions, Imagine.
I like to call it truly it's for those that know, D23. Like to me, it's like a D23, but it's right here and it's right at Walt Disney World. I mean, you're talking celebrities and everything else. It's just incredible.
It's at Coronado Springs this year, right?
We wanted more space because I'm crazy and I always want to make everything bigger than the previous year.
Sounds good to us too.
It's 86,000 square feet, and a lot of the big things that are expanding this year are the vendor hall. We went from 25 to 50, and then we started calling partners in the community. Like Ripley's did a really good job at Night of a Million Lights, but they have a lot of cool displays. So they're curating a whole exhibit there this year, and they'll actually they'll have the original Luke Skywalker lightsaber.
Oh wow!
You can wear the white gloves and actually hold it while you're there.
Your whole family's coming now.
Oh my god!
No, I was just gonna say, what do we have at our booth? We gotta step up. We gotta step up our game.
Wait and see. Shadow over your booth.
Wait and see.
I'm calling the Universal people. I'm calling.
But the 501st have built some sets for the Mandalorian, so they're going to be bringing those.
Oh my god, that's going to be awesome!
We'll have a Pizza Planet truck out there.
Oh my gosh!
Disney has Give Kids the World has a huge exhibit going in because last year we didn't really message who we are, and that was a learning from year 1 to 2 at Night of a Million Lights was that we assumed everybody understood what Give Kids World was, and then they walk out and go like, "Is this like an abandoned like retirement community?" You're like. No, we did not. We assumed you knew what this place was before you came. You didn't Google us. And then same with Discount this year. But one of the exciting things was we had announced that we're doing an after-hours party at Epcot.
Yeah.
I pitched. I was like, October 1st available? And they're like, yeah, sure. I was like, it's the 40th anniversary of Epcot. I was like, I assumed you would say.
Oh God, that's right.
I assumed you would say no. And they're like, not a problem. And I did it like a year ago. I was like, did no one know? Like, did like no one check? And I was like, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to go, that's pretty casual.
That's a surprising thing. Like I've learned working with Disney is like, they forget. Like I remember we did, was it the 30th for DVC, 30th anniversary? Yeah. No, it was the 25th. Right? The 30th just happened. We were waiting for the 25th. Yeah. And it was like 2 weeks before. And I was like, did you forget about your 25th? You had 25 years to prepare.
October 1st. God, yeah, that's crazy.
But we had Ratatouille. We had this whole party planned over there. And then, a couple months ago, I was like, I'm just going to ask for Cosmic Rewind to see if it could happen. I assume the answer is no.
Right.
And Disney World, of course, incredible partners for the Village.
Sure.
I mean, they are our biggest partner. And they came back and said yes. And I said, that's surprising. So now we have I have to say, World Discovery. I just want to say World of Discovery. We have World Discovery. Right. So it's Test Track, Mission Space, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
It's going to take a long time to get those names right.
I know. And World Discovery.
Presented by Chevrolet. Right. But Mission Space, you're not going to eat that. You're not going to have
That's actually the only dessert on the buffet line will just be funnel cakes.
The funnel cakes with the brick of ice cream.
Well, for that event, Derek has agreed to do that and Mission Space.
Are you going to do a challenge?
At DisCon. So anybody joining, Derek will be there.
She just signed me up for that.
Your wife is texting me right now.
We'll have a donut flambe station. So if you want to eat those before riding that one. So.
A donut flambe station.
I think it should be a challenge for you.
If we get more than 10 comments.
Yep.
In our comments about Derek doing this,
she's probably not even kidding. That's the best part.
But specifically about you doing it. Yeah. So.
You have to say technically. You can just say. You have to say technically.
Tell us more about the event, please.
We'll have a bunch of rare characters out doing meet and greets out there. We'll have a DJ dance party, so really cool atmosphere.
Fun.
And what's new this year is that all of this is a fundraiser for Give Kids the World. So as you mentioned, D23, like everything we're trying to do is trying to be fiscally responsible because we try to be the best steward of the dollar. Right. So this year, when you actually buy the ticket, $80 is actually a donation to Give Kids World that you'll get a tax receipt. So you might say, oh, $199. I go, yeah, but you're actually making a donation to Give Kids World while you're buying your ticket there. We want to make sure you understand that this is a fundraiser. Everything we're doing is trying to, beat last year's numbers so we can fulfill as many wishes.
Right. So for that event, because it's a 2-day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So 2-day convention where you can buy either 1-day tickets or you can buy a ticket for 2 days. And then it's a separate ticketed event, right?
Yeah.
For the evening event.
Yeah. So we reduced the price of the convention piece from last year to this year. We want more activity. It's cool that the vendors out there, we want more people to see the speakers. We do autographs and photos with the celebrities.
Yes.
And that's almost everyone has agreed to do it this year. It was Delta was a very unique curveball for us. Our show floor changed drastically in the days leading up to where the photo ops were then outdoors. And then we had the big shields, all the plastic back up, and we did. Actually, it's kind of funny. We did spacing between the chairs. It was like 2 feet. And we actually brought that back this year because it was just so gosh darn comfortable. It was actually really great to not sit on top of your person. So I was like, I know that was like a COVID measure, but like having this much space between the next person was actually kind of
enjoyable.
Nice. I was like, because they lock the chairs and they're linked, and I was like, we're okay.
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to have personal space and just germs
People
and
move
things
the
like
chairs
that.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And last year we just set up as many chairs as we could because we wanted people to feel comfortable. So there's people sitting in the back corner of the room with their masks on. So they're like, "Do you want us to reduce?" I was like, "Yeah, just fill the. We don't pay for the table."
We had customized masks. Remember?
We did
with our like little logo with the stars on them.
Stars.
I think I still have them.
It was really great. But I love too that the celebrities they're walking around too, and they're so accessible.
Cool.
So you can go to their show or their kind of speaker moment as well.
I definitely was caught because there was a certain mermaid that was there last year, and I was outside and I saw her walking, so I was doing the pretending to talk on the phone to someone or taking a picture, but I flipped it around and I was like, there she is.
You were a real creeper, huh?
Yeah.
Selfie cam.
That's why Jody's not coming back.
She's like, is Derek going to be there?
We had the Wheel of Fortune, or the Wheel of giving you prizes.
That noise I still hear.
We won't do
hear it
that.
too.
We won't do that
have
this year. We'll save you from that. But Pat Sajak came by and he spun the wheel, and that was so super special. We have a really cool video of that.
At Galaxy's Edge last year, it was a reduced capacity, and it was just really fun. All of those celebrities come out to it.
They do, yeah.
They don't care. They're humans.
Yeah.
And you're sitting next to, I said Pat Sajak, Tony Baxter's riding the rides just with everybody else, and he's not going I don't want to talk. They're just, it was just a family atmosphere, and that's what we're really looking for again this year, because all of these celebrities could go to a con that, compensates them greatly. No, they're coming out here on their own time. And it's just, they're donating back to us.
And the vendors are awesome.
Yeah.
I would literally, she would have to call me because, she's my boss and say, come back to the booth. I would just get lost looking at all the awesome vendor stuff and taking pictures of it. I came home with candles and I came home with all this stuff. So, just the vendors alone.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see the vendors. Everybody was supporting each other too, because I know Marissa and I shopped and went shopped and, it's almost good Christmas shopping and stocking stuffers and this and that, but everybody's very supportive of each other well.
The best part about the vendor hall this year is that for the vendors, they'd get a little bored. Because what would happen was we would have a main stage performance, and then everybody would funnel out of the vendor hall. So we said, let's just build the stage in the vendor hall. So we've now surrounded there. So while you're sitting at your booth, you get to be part of...
Which I love. Yeah, because we peeked in on a couple things, but I don't know. I'm a rule follower, so it's I know I'm not allowed in here, but can I just... No, I just won't do it.
Not allowed in.
Exactly. I know. I want to give the World of DVC...
More security with our volunteers.
I know. But if you know me, I'm I don't want to make the World of DVC look bad or anything, so I would peek in and Derek would be just go in and watch. I'm no,
meanwhile, Derek's been there for half hour.
Exactly. He's sitting there with his turkey leg watching Pat Sajak. Asking Jody Benson questions.
Sir, we're not even doing questions right now. Sit down, please.
So if people want to get tickets for the event, where can they go?
Yeah, it's just givekidstheworld.org/DizCon.
Okay.
And from there, as soon as this airs, the schedule is actually going to be available, so you'll know which celebrities are going to be on which stage at what time. Their photos and autographs will become available then, so we're trying to make it so...
I'm on your Facebook page, which is awesome, because it seems like every day they're making another announcement. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so
great. We sometimes are sitting in the room going
it's crazy.
Did we announce Jim Cummings? We did not announce Jim Cummings.
You do have a kind of announcement all the time coming out.
All the time.
All the time. It's on the website.
Gotta get that out.
Just never did the post for it. So we're full for this one. We've had actually people reach out to us and go, do you have more space for panels? And go, next year.
Yeah.
And it's becoming one of those things where the ticket pricing is faster than the previous year. And we're hoping this becomes something that continues from year to year now.
So wonderful.
So if you are heading to the website, we are offering a promo code. So it is just World of DVC. If you put that in there, you're going to get 20% off of during those convention tickets. So if you're looking to join, or if you've heard this and go, hey, wait, I want to be a part, that's how you can take part and join us. And
because if all those amazing celebrities aren't enough, you get to come and see us.
Yes, but seriously, if you watch the show and you this inspired you to buy a ticket, come by the booth.
Yeah,
we would love to meet you. We had a few people last year.
Oh my God, it
come
was
by
great.
and say,
it was crazy.
You look shorter in person, everything. Nice comments like that. Yeah, I get that all the time too.
I didn't.
You're taller than I thought. Yeah, you lower your seat. But yeah, come by and see us because we'd love to meet our guests.
You're burying the lead. Who is the stage in the vendor hall is the World of DVC stage.
We are.
I'll celebrate you guys for you. I was like, we're not going to go away with this.
We're shy. We don't like to talk about ourselves.
It's not going to be a big sign now.
We're rule followers.
It won't be as big a sign as this is.
We're going to blow that up on a big sign.
Oh yeah. Now we're friends.
So yes, we are the sponsors for that.
Yeah.
World of DVC.
And your booth is right outside that stage too.
Yeah,
so everyone who's attending any of the panels, you'll be able to see you guys.
Super excited. It's so great to have this event coming up that we're a part of with your amazing organization, and I just had the best time today. I seriously could talk forever and ever. And we thought last month's show that hit an all-time record length, and I'm like, I don't want Stephen to go because I want to talk to him more and more.
I know.
But
last month's show was long.
Yeah.
90 something minutes, but good information.
But it was
Go
amazing.
Back and watch it.
So people loved it. And this
I
is
did
even
want
better.
to mention too, again, if you are saying, hey, what a cool organization, right? You can go there, you can participate, whether that is giving financially or giving with your time, right? What a cool way as a family, if you're doing that Disney vacation, to volunteer those hours. I'm definitely going to look into doing that with my family so we can do that more often, and maybe you'll see us in the Thursday parade.
And even if you can't, right? Just hit the like, thumbs up,
for
the
this
comment.
show for
$10.
the next month. We are giving away $10 for every participation. So again, if you're a new subscriber, a thumbs up or a comment. Every one of those participations, we will be giving away $10, and we will present that to Give Kids the World, and maybe we'll have that ready to go by the DisCon.
By the DisCon. Stephen, give the website one more time to buy the tickets to DisCon.
It's givekidstheworld.org/DisCon.
/DisCon. Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, you also brought a prize, right?
Oh, I do have a prize. Yeah, you're right.
Derek comes with all kinds of cool collections.
So we have a prize. This is exciting because normally we'll have like, okay, this is how you get the prize is to like, thumbs up, leave a comment. So this one, first of all, everybody wins because we're getting $10 to every single like and thumbs up and comment. However, people still like to be encouraged. So we have, when I went shopping at Disney Springs, like I talked about earlier, I ate at Art Smith's Homecoming for the first time. It's my new favorite restaurant of all time. And I think, was he not at DisCon last year?
He was one of our presenters last year.
Yeah, I think I have a creepy selfie with him.
All blurry.
Next to Jody Benson.
All blurry. You're like, who's that? Is that Jody Benson or Art Smith?
Was that on your iPhone 4? Does iPhone 4 do selfies?
Let me get to the prize. We will pick one lucky family because we walked around. It was so nice to be able to shop at Disney Springs. When you get there early enough, it was perfect. I found this and I said, I'm buying this amazing Visit to Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom Park board game. It just looks, it looks
awesome.
so
Look at the logo. I can't
cute and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So one lucky family, we're going to choose you, and they need to email us too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So just send us an email. Let us know your name, your mailing address, and we will ship that out as well to one lucky family. Again, our email is info@worldofdvc.com.
Yes. So this
Love
was
it.
amazing. So Stephen, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, did you hear that?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah. What a perfect way to end this.
Yes, it is.
Story time with Sue.
Take it away, Sue.
Welcome to Storytime with Sue. Today's story is sharing some of my experiences with some of Disney's spectacular events that they put on, some for cast and some for the press. So one of them I'd like to talk about is my experience with Partners in Excellence. Partners in Excellence, now called Legacy, is an award given to cast members, limited number of cast members, who achieve the heritage goals of Disney, who exemplify heritage, business, and guest. And it's so special. It's hard for me to describe because you're nominated by your peers for this, and very few people are chosen. The numbers that are nominated, they have to be backed up with written testimonials by different individuals who know you, and then they're presented to a group of individuals who are going to decide who's going to get this award. I was fortunate in being able to get Partners in Excellence, and here's my Partners in Excellence statue, which I cherish. And the way we got the statue was at an event, and it was an event that Disney pulled out all the stops. So for the Partners in Excellence, I had the opportunity of having the guest speaker at our dinner of Sidney Poitier, who was fantastic. We walked into the main ballroom over at the Contemporary Resort, and it was just gorgeous. These table pieces, the linens, everything was done in first-class conditions for us. And our partner statue was sitting on our place setting. We were allowed to bring a guest with us, and our executive was sitting at our table. And the food that they served was just phenomenal. The chefs went out of their way to make sure that we were treated the best way possible, and it was something that I'll always remember. That night we're not only did I feel special, but I felt so darn proud of being part of this organization and have my statue to prove it. And the nice thing is it's a lifetime achievement award. So this baby's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. That is one of the examples of what Disney can do for its cast members. Another one is the 10 and 15 year, 20 year, every 5 years after that, anniversary celebrations. What Disney does for these is they will close one of the parks, generally at 7 o'clock at night or a little earlier, and the people who are celebrating their 10th, 15th, and every 5 years thereafter anniversary, they're invited with a guest to go to the park and to enjoy a special night for themselves. You go and meet a bus, you are bussed in, you get off the bus, and there's a red carpet. And you walk the red carpet, and there are cast members on both sides with cameras like paparazzi, and they're cheering you, and they're thanking you, and they're look this way, and they're taking your pictures, and you really truly feel special. And then they have wonderful meals, and the attractions are open, the characters are out, but the most spectacular thing is the fireworks at the end. The fireworks at the end it's all about you. And they're some of the most spectacular fireworks I've seen. Better than the ones on 4th of July, better than the ones on New Year's. And it's all about you, the cast member, and the songs that go along with it are celebrating you. So it's another way that Disney thanks their guests, their cast members, for being able to participate and be loyal, and for the work that they do for the company and the happiness that they make for the guests. Again, another memorable night. The third event that I had the opportunity of participating in was a press event. And I'll tell you, when Disney has a press event, they go all out to impress them and to make sure that the press are entertained and that the press will have a great time so that they will tell their stories either through news media, social media, or through radio. I happened to be with a DJ from Jacksonville, and I was assigned to him, and wherever he went during the day, I followed with him to make sure that he got what he wanted. He could get on the attractions he wanted to. He could talk to the characters and interview the characters he wanted to, and also to make sure that the questions that he would ask would be in line with that character. So I happened to be with him, and this was the press event where they were opening up Soarin'. And so we had, the press event was held in 3 different parks. The first day we were over at the Magic Kingdom, and that was the day for interviews, where he could interview any of the characters. So yes, we had Minnie and Mickey, and Minnie and Mickey came by, and he was able to ask them a lot of questions. We had Cinderella who came by, and we also happened to have Cruella who came by, and it was just interesting to listen to the character's response, especially when one of them was asked, "So do you have an iPhone?" And it was Cinderella, as a matter of fact, and Cinderella was like, "A what? I have an eye. Is that what you're talking about?" And it's because there were no telephones back in Cinderella's day, and she kept right into character with it. But the night that we were over at the Epcot for their dinner time area, we first went on to Soarin', and he and I were the only ones on the ride. We sat in the front. They had cameras on us because he wanted to be able to show this on his show, and he wanted to put it up on social media, his experience the first time riding Soarin'. So we rode Soarin', and it captured our expressions, and he said, "Well, I don't think that it captured enough. Let's try it again." After 4 times of doing Soarin' all by ourselves, he was done. And I just had a blast. I rode Soarin' 4 times in a row before it even opened, and that was fantastic. Then we went over to Rock and Roller Coaster, which was great. So later on that night, I picked him up at his hotel, and we go over to Epcot for the dinner. And they had kiosks, little kiosks around near Soarin' and near the Nemo. They had the kiosks set up, food kiosks. One of them had tempura shrimp, and they were served in these little takeout Chinese food containers with chopsticks on them. Another area had the tenderloin sliders, and they were served in kind of a dish that you would get at a Midway. But the thing that impressed me the most was there was this big block of ice, and there were 4 cast members on ladders, and it was a martini station. So you would go under the ladder of which martini you wanted. And let's say that you wanted the Cosmopolitan. So you would go to where the Cosmopolitan line was. You take your martini glass and you would put it underneath this hole in the ice. They would pour from the top the Cosmopolitan. It would come perfectly chilled down into your glass. Being a cast member, we don't partake in any of the beverages or any of the food in these events. We're there to support the press. But watching the press just ooh and ah with it, it was wonderful. And then again, every single night, a special fireworks show just for the press. Disney pulled out all of the stops. So in my tenure with Disney, I had the chance of being able to go to a couple of very important cast events and feel what it's like when Disney pulls out all of the stops for the cast members. And then I had a chance to go to this press event when I could see what the stops were that they would pull out for the media. And it was just phenomenal. When Disney chefs get together and Disney planning gets together, it truly is a magical experience. So again, I'm going to ask you any stories that you have of your family magical experiences, anything that has really taken you over the top with your trips to Disney. Please let me know about them. I'd love to be able to share them with our listeners. Thank you. And goodbye.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
this
a
was
great
great.
show.
This
So
was
awesome.
one of the
Thank
most
you
fun
so
days
much
I've
for coming,
ever had.
Steven.
I think one of our most
Goosebumps,
special
information.
shows.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It
We
was
always
awesome.
say join us for our special show, but I feel like this truly was just a special show to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was
You were
wonderful.
fantastic. Can you come back each month?
Compliment us on our impressive. What did you call it? Legit.
Our panel is now 4 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Squeeze in.
Yeah, we can make this work.
Come join us on our legit show that we have.
Too legit.
So thank you, Steven, so much. And guys, remember, we hope to see you at DisCon. Remember, like, thumbs up, comment, so we can present Steven with a huge check at
$10
DisCon. So
for everyone.
we are so excited.
Yeah.
This was great. So
Yeah.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, only one last thing to do. 16 episodes in. We can't blow it now. Steven, don't blow it. Promise. Stare at that camera right there. Ready? No, right over here. 3, 2, 1. We'll see you real soon. Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please remove your headphones, step back into reality, have a magical day, and we'll see you real soon.